everyone, it's Ellen here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Oh Holy Night on the guitar. I wanted to shout out my patrons and give them a special thank you for voting on this song as this month's patron picks. So if you want a little bit of voting power in these songs you see me teach here on my channel, make sure to check it out. I will link it down below. Now, something to mention about this song is I'm not teaching any particular artist rendition or anything. I do feel like this is a classic Christmas song that's been covered by so many different artists, so I'm just going to give you the chords that I think sound good. And another thing to mention is I will be teaching this tutorial today without a capo. However, I would recommend, if you do have a capo, to experiment with putting your capo on different frets to match your vocal range. As you'll see towards the end of this video, this actually, without a capo, doesn't match my vocal range, but I thought this was the most inclusive way to teach it. So anyways, here is an overview of everything I'll be covering in this video today, and with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so you are going to need to know 8 different chords to play through this song, and we're going to start with our C major, which looks like this and sounds like this. And by the way, if you don't know how to read these chord charts you're seeing on screen, I do cover how to do that in my free beginner series right here on YouTube, so make sure to check that out right here. The next chord shape is our F major, and this is our only bar for this song. We also have our G7. Then there's our C7. We have the E minor. Then there's our B7. A minor. And then last is our D minor. Those are the 8 chords you need to know to play through this song. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really memorize these chord shapes, as well as practice transitioning back and forth between them, because it'll make learning the rest of the song so much easier on you. And if this is a skill you're currently struggling with, I would recommend checking out my Practice With Me series right here on YouTube, where I go through this skill with you in real time together. But once you have these chords under your belt, then we can go ahead and talk about the strumming pattern that I would recommend using for this song. Alright guys, so as you can see for strumming, we are going to be counting this in a triplet rhythm. So there's going to be 3 sub beats per beat. Basically, it's going to sound like this. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Basically, what you want to do is just get used to the coordination of the up and down strums. So let's go ahead and put our C chord on, and let's go ahead and just play through this a few times to get used to it. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So if you're already struggling with the coordination of, where you're supposed to be doing downs and up strums, I would definitely recommend pausing and just kind of take a few minutes to get used to that on your own first. But once you have that, we can pair that with some of these chord transitions. So let's go ahead and take a look at that verse. We're starting here in our C chord. We're going to play through this once. So we have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up to F. Here on our F to C, we are going to split this in half. So F is 1, 2, and to C, 3, 4, and Alright, so throughout this song, you'll see there are places where we're going to have to split this measure in half. That was an example. So let's go ahead and go through that again. We have C for a full measure, F, split C, full measure, so basically this pattern you can apply for the entire verse. This song is made up of several verses, so basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play through the first verse with you, but just know that the rest of the song with the other verses are going to be played exactly the same way. So here's an example of what this strumming pattern would sound like with the verse. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and holy night, the stars are brightly shining. so that was an example of the first verse. Like I said, you could repeat that exact same way to play the guitar for the rest of the verses. And then a way that I would recommend ending out the song is with this chord progression for the outro. So, oh night divine, to F, D minor, G7, C, F, C, G7, and then a single down strum on the C to finish it out, all right? So that's an option on how to kind of outro the song if you're going to perform this for any reason. But basically that is how I would recommend strumming for this song, and you could apply this pattern for the entire song. All right guys, so go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really get used to this strumming rhythm. Once you have it under your muscle memory and you can kind of do it without counting it in your head, that's when it'll be so much easier to sing on top of it. So definitely pause the video and work on that on your own. But another way that I wanted to show you guys how you could play this is with finger picking. I do think it sounds a little bit more cozy, a little more Christmassy if you use finger picking, so let's go over that next. All right guys, so for this finger picking pattern, I do need to talk about two things before we move on. The first is how I like to number my strings. So I do number my strings with my tutorials with the low E being 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way to the thinnest high E string. So I will be referring to these strings as numbers for the rest of this portion of the tutorial. And then the other thing to mention is with your left hand, you are going to just be continuing to make the same chord shapes that we've been, playing for this song. But with our right hand, what I want you to do is we're going to assign each of our fingers to a string. So basically with your pointer, middle, and ring finger, I want you to assign those to these bottom 3 strings, the G, B, and E. And for this entire picking pattern, these 3 fingers will never leave these 3 strings, okay? Your thumb is the only thing that's gonna move around, and it's gonna cover the root note or the bass note of each of these chords. So for example, when we play our C chord, the lowest note in the C chord is our A string here, or our 5th string. So that's where our thumb is gonna be. But if you change to, like, for example, your F chord, your lowest string is now your 6th string, your E string. So your thumb will be moving around 6, 5, and 4 based on the chord shape, but these 3 fingers are always gonna stay here at the bottom, okay? Now with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and learn this pattern. Basically, I think it sounds best with just a regular arpeggiated picking pattern. So basically we're gonna start here on our C chord. You're gonna pick your thumb and go down the guitar. So we have 5, 3, 2, 1. And then you're gonna finish it out by going back up the guitar. 2, 3. All right, so that's the whole pattern. For C, we have 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, and the rhythm is just very straightforward. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So we're still counting it with that triplet rhythm that we did with strumming, okay? So let's go ahead and just go through over all the chords. For our C, we go 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. For our F, we have 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. For G7, we have 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. For our C7, we have 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Moving on to our E minor chord, we have 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And I get this question all the time. Since we're not playing our, 5th and 4th strings, you could play the E minor without fretting anything on your left hand. All right, but I would recommend keeping your chord shapes down just in case you accidentally pick, the wrong string or something. It'll still sound good. Moving on, we've got our B7 is 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. A minor is also 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then D minor, this is the only one where your thumb's going to be here on the 4th string. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. So if you can kind of get the coordination down for your fingers to pick the right strings based on the chord that you're playing, remember the thumb is the most important one, it's going to cover the root note. Once you can get used to that for all 8 of these chord shapes, then you can just kind of string them together to play through the song. So for example, at the beginning of our verse, we have C to F to C. So it will take a little bit of practice, especially if finger picking is something brand new to you. That does take a lot of coordination and brain power. So definitely pause the video and take as much time as you need to really get used to all of these new techniques. But once you get back, I wanted to play through the entire verse with you with finger picking, just so you can see what that sounds like. So like I said with strumming, the verses are all played the same. So I'm just gonna play through one verse for you, and then we can go over the outro again. So one of the verses with picking would sound like this. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world sin and error pining, till he appeared, and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night divine. And then again, you would repeat that for all of the verses, and then a good way to do the outro would be this chord progression here. Oh, night divine. F, D minor, G7, C, F, C, G7, and then a single down strum to end the song on C. Alright, so that would be my suggestion for finger picking through this song. Again, apologies for my singing. Like I said, if you do have a capo, I would recommend experimenting with the capo and finding a key that matches your singing voice. Without a capo on, this is simultaneously too high and too low for me to sing. But anyways, that is how you could play through this song with finger picking. I do think it sounds really beautiful if you wanted to perform it this way. So yeah, that is how you would do the finger picking portion. All right guys, so again, go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really get used to these finger picking patterns. Each chord can be a little bit different, so it can be a little hard to remember which strings to pick for each of these chords, but I promise if you take some time to memorize it and get used to it and develop that muscle memory, it will become a lot easier, and then singing on top of it becomes a lot easier as well. All right guys, but those are the 2 different ways I would recommend playing through this song, whether you wanted to do the triplet strumming rhythm or the arpeggiated picking pattern. I think both sound really beautiful with this song. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks again to my patrons for picking this song for me to teach here. And if you would like to download a free printable guide with everything I've taught in this tutorial today, I do have that available on my Patreon page. And while you're over there, I would suggest you check out all of the other things that I have by becoming a patron. You can unlock exclusive exclusive perks and other posts, so definitely check it out if you're interested and you're having fun learning guitar. But either way, thanks again so much for learning this song with me and watching, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.